Hello, everybody. We are back. It is 8:00. This is the 4th live in a row. Hi. Thank you for joining us again. Vanessa, you're here. Very on time, everybody. You guys are awesome. Let's see how many people are joining us from all over again. So guys, tell me in the comments. Okay, Julius of the Caesar salad. Okay, didn't get that. So tell me in the comments if this is the 4th live that you join me in a row. Or let me know if you missed any of those. I want to know who has been here loyally for the last 4 days. I see hands. Does that mean that you've been here for 4? Hi, Vanessa! Guys, go follow Vanessa. She just commented hi. We are going to be talking with her. You want to follow her. So maybe very quickly click on her. Oh, actually, no, maybe you can't just click on her. Okay, when I'll invite her, then both of our faces will be there in the corner. You have to click and then you go follow her. Anyways, okay, let's see. Missed yesterday. No, that was a big mistake. Let me tell you, yesterday's was pretty amazing, but don't worry, I saved it and I will reshare that. This is my first one. Welcome. This is my second one. All right. 4 out of 4. I will publish them. Not all of them. I missed the first 2. I didn't know how to save them, but I learned yesterday. So, and this one I will save it as well. Is it possible for you to speak some Spanish? Not on this account, sorry. On my podcast. Okay, so hi everybody. So happy to be here again for the 4th time in a row. Okay, so I see that some of you have been here for 4 days also. That is pretty awesome. So thank you. And today is going to be a very special, very special live. We're going to be talking to Vanessa Van Edwards. And I want to tell you a little bit of how we met before I invite her in, okay? And it all started in 2016 when I was invited to speak at World Domination Summit. World Domination Summit is an amazing event. I didn't know much about the event at the time. I was just invited to be on the main stage, and I said yes because it looked amazing, but I didn't know. So I went to the event, and the first day that I'm there, right, everybody is talking about this Vanessa. Everybody there. I started meeting new friends because this event is not only like a one time everybody gets together, speakers go on stage and they speak. No. This event called World Domination Summit is a 4 or 5 day event. It's organized by Chris Guillebeau. We're actually going to be talking live with Chris next week because his book is releasing next week, and I'm so excited to bring him in also for one of these sessions. You'll get to know Chris. But so he's the organizer of World Domination Summit, and it has so many. It's in Portland every year. This year is going to be the last one, but who knows, maybe not. After coronavirus, I don't know what's going to happen. Anyways, so I was at the event. I get there were a lot of things going on, like workshops and activities and network things happening, and everybody's talking about this event from Vanessa Van Edwards. Everybody's like, the workshop that she did, she was amazing. And I was like, I can't believe that I missed it. Like, everybody's talking about it, and we arrived a day later, or I don't know, we were not there on time. So we missed it, and I kept hearing her name. So it was my turn to speak the next day. I spoke, I left, and then that name still in my head, Vanessa Van Edwards. I need to find out who she is. I need to reach out to her. I need to let her know that I want to, get to know her, I guess. I want to make her part of my network. I mean, everybody was talking about her. She must be pretty awesome. So I can't remember if I emailed her or she emailed me. I think I emailed her. I don't remember, Vanessa. You'll tell us in a little bit. But anyway, somebody emailed the other person, right? And imagine it was me. And I was like, hey, Vanessa, everybody was talking about you. Actually, I spoke main stage. Not sure if you were able to see my presentation. Anyways, we should connect, right? How are you? Where do you live? And she replied back, or it was the other way around. I don't know. And she was like, of course, I saw you present live. You were amazing. And I would love to meet you. And she was like, I'll be in New York like in a month from today or something like that. We should do something together. So it's like, yes, let's face one of my fears, because I was still in the process of doing YouTube videos facing my fears. So I invited her to join me to face a fear that she could be really helpful. The fear that she helped me face was the fear of starting a conversation with a stranger. I'm really, really bad at approaching strangers. For example, if I see someone wearing a beautiful purse or beautiful, her hair looks amazing, and I want to tell her that. I want to be like, oh, I love your hair, or I love your outfit, or you look so awesome. I can't. I don't know why. It's bigger than me. I'm afraid to like just start a conversation. And she is really good at that. That's what she does. She is, I want to tell you now, introduce her a little bit before I welcome her in. Oh my God, I'm taking too long to introduce her. But because I have a lot to say, and I'm just so excited that she is going to join me now. And so this is her face, so you can picture her. I love this cover. This is her book, Captivate. This is not her first book. She has more books, but this is, I think, the latest one, Vanessa? Yes? Okay, anyways, Vanessa talks about this, the science of succeeding with people. You hear that? The science of succeeding with people. That's what she does. So she's really good at opening conversations. She's really good at networking. But the interesting thing is that she was not this way for her entire life. This is not something that comes natural to her, even though you would have a hard time believing that, because right now she's like the most social person. I feel bad when I'm with her because she just makes friends with everybody and I'm on a corner like hiding, right? And she was not like this when she was growing up. She calls herself an awkward recovering person. That must be here somewhere in her book. And she wanted to break free and learn how to communicate better with the world and how not to feel like, so like I'm really bad at doing this. I don't know how to describe how great she is. So I actually will let her in. Vanessa, you will be able to describe yourself much better. Anyways, she's awesome. Here we go. Let's welcome Vanessa Van Edwards. Vanessa! Two Vanessas.
You did it perfect.
You
did it so yes, you're perfect. You're great.
I should have written this down or something.
No, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Tell us your story. Tell us what you do, who you are.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for everyone for watching. So as Michelle so wonderfully pointed out, I'm a recovering awkward person. So if you're an introvert or an ambivert, or you're afraid of awkward silences, or you have social anxiety or stage fright, or you just worry that when you interact with people, you're saying something silly, you're my people. That's me too. And so one thing I learned really early on was that all the social skills books out there were written by extroverts and people who are naturally charismatic, not me. They say things like, just be yourself and just smile more. And if you don't have a lot of confidence, and I've had to really work on self-worth and confidence and all those things, that's scary. And so I was like, I'm going to write a book for all the recovering awkward people out there. And who knew there were so many awkward people? Who knew?
There are so many here. People are like, that's me. So welcome.
So that's, I never realized that you could make a business out of being vulnerable. And I mean, I don't know how deep you want to go, how quick, Michelle, but.
Oh yeah, please go.
Okay. So the very first iteration of my business, I was trying to be professional. I was trying to be an expert. I was trying to be, the perfect kind of newscaster on these topics. And it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. And things weren't really working. And I was so burnt out and I felt so inauthentic and it felt so fake. And I was like, I'm done. I'm just done doing this. I would rather be myself and I'd rather share my real stories than not be myself and be more successful. And so I decided to just come out, and I came out of the closet with I'm a recovering awkward person, because my greatest fear was that people would find out that I'm not naturally charismatic. That was like my greatest fear. And then I realized, you know what? Like, that's me. So I changed the opening line of my book, Captivate. It used to be like, learn how to be 75.2% more successful with people using data. And my editor was like, this doesn't sound like you. And I was like, I know. And so I opened my book with the most terrifying thing that I was afraid everyone would find out, which is, hi, I'm Vanessa and I'm a recovering awkward person. And who knew that would make the book go crazy better than I ever could have imagined. So I'm so excited here to talk about how that works, how you can do that for yourself, for your business. If you want to create an online course, yeah, I'm so happy to share.
Thank you so much for being here. I know everybody here is going to love you so much. I mean, you are amazing. And
I want to send you a virtual hug.
Yes! Virtual. I love it.
So that's the best I can do right now.
Yeah. And so it's funny because as I was thinking about bringing you to this series of lives, I was like, should I bring her to talk about how to be more social, or should I bring her to talk about how to create online courses? So you have so much to offer. I mean, we could talk for 24 hours straight if Instagram would allow us, right? In fact, the last time that we met, it was here in Miami, where I now live. It was in May of last year, and we were at the same event speaking, and we realized that same day, and we went to dinner, and they closed the restaurant, and we were still there, and they were like, you need to go home. We're like, no, we don't. We need to continue talking. Yeah. There's so much value that we add each other that we can share. So I'm so happy we are doing this. We're sharing it with this beautiful community. I see that your people also are joining us. So that's pretty cool.
And so the fun thing also is, so we decided, Michelle and I, that I teach a lot about social skills. That's in Captivate. I have tons of free stuff on my website. I did a webinar last week that's up for free. Just go watch it on staying connected during social distancing and virtual remote work and culture. I never get to talk about online courses, businesses. And so I'm kind of excited to talk about this with you. So if you want all the social stuff, I got it for you, friends. I got it. It's all up there for free. I was kind of excited today to talk about maybe how to be proactive in this time, this crazy time that I think everyone has a piece of knowledge, or they have an expertise. Everyone is an expert in something. And so whatever your expertise is, maybe this is the time to share it. Whether that's YouTube videos, whether that's an online course, whether that's an online program, and there's a difference, whether it's an online mastermind, also different. I think that this could be that magical time where we've been gifted out of a horrible set of circumstances a lot of time in our home. And guess where I shot most of my online courses, at least my first seven, in my home. In my home, with the lights in my kitchen, with my iPhone. So I can do it. You can do it too.
How many courses do you have now?
Okay, so I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I was trying to think about it before. Okay, so I have 7 on Udemy. I have 2 on my website, and I have 4 on Creative Live, and I have 3 on LinkedIn Learning.
But there was a point where you had like 50, right? Or am I exaggerating?
I think, well, remember, sometimes I had them in 2 places. So at one point, I think there was probably 50 because I had them in multiple different places. Now I've learned to streamline, which I'm happy to talk about.
So that's why Vanessa is here, to talk to us about online courses, even though she has so much knowledge of so many different things. As she was saying, you can definitely go to her website and find out about people skills, and of course get her book, which is amazing. a Bible here for social interactions, and we all need that. But we're going to be focusing on online courses, which she's been doing for how many years?
Okay, so should I share my course journey? Okay, so this is from the beginning. And I'm happy to dive into whatever you think is most helpful for folks too. And I'm trying to keep my eye on the comments too, if it's helpful. So in 2012, I was doing a lot of online writing. I was doing a lot of speaking in person. And someone said to me, you know, there's this platform, it's called Udemy. Have you ever heard of it? And Udemy. I was like, oh, no, I haven't. And I looked on there and it was an online course platform. And at the time, it was mostly like engineering, accounting courses. And they said, you know, you do a lot of workshops for engineers and accountants. And at the time I was doing social skills for accountants, social skills for engineers, how to be charismatic when you're an awkward person. Yeah. And I thought, well, if engineers are on here, maybe they want to take a people skills course. So literally my iPhone, which I think back then was like iPhone 5 or something. And I had no professional lights. I took every lamp in my apartment and I drug it over to my kitchen. And I sat at my kitchen table. It's still up. You can still see it, unfortunately. And I pulled every lamp over. And I had a little external mic. I think I got it for $32 on Amazon. It was like just a little plug-in. I just plugged it on my shirt. And I turned on my camera and I followed the guidelines on Udemy. Udemy has some guidelines. And every course platform, by the way, has guidelines, which you have to make sure you pay attention to. So they had a couple guidelines. And I just basically taught my live workshop online. And it was the perfect place because at the time I was doing a lot on body language, and body language is perfect for video. In fact, I didn't have a podcast because it's hard to teach body language on a podcast. And so I did the course. I think it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And I thought to myself, okay, if I can make back what I paid for the mic, $32, and I can double it to make $60, it'll be worth it. It took 24 hours to get the course approved. I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and literally it was course sales as far as the eye could see. Like my inbox, it was, I think in the first 2 days we had 300 sales.
That's insane.
It was like, I thought something was wrong. But I thought it was
how much was the course, right?
The course was $49 back then. Mm-hmm. Now, Udemy offers a lot of promotions. So I didn't get $49 for every sale because they take a percent and they also offer like coupons. But it was a ridiculous amount of money for spending a couple hours in my living room. I also edited it myself on iMovie. I self-taught my iMovie by watching YouTube videos, totally all by myself. So you still do that. That course still sells. That course still sells, which is unbelievable. And so that was the first course. And then I got addicted. I was totally addicted to it. And also my students were amazing. I was meeting these amazing people I never would have gotten to meet. And I was learning from them and I loved their questions. So boom, boom, boom. Then it was a course. Then it was every like 3 to 6 months, another course, slowly leveling up my games with the quality of courses. And we are at 257,000 students on just Udemy now.
Oh,
which is crazy.
My God. For that,
I know it.
For that same course or for like all of them that you have there?
For all 7. Mm-hmm.
All 7. Okay. Wow.
All 7.
Wow.
Like I was speechless. I'm never speechless. Like it was crazy. So that was my first kind of foray into it. And it is wonderful. So when you're thinking about your online course, let's talk about your online course. Mm-hmm. The very first thing that you want to think about is video the ideal way to teach this? Okay. Or is it the second ideal way to teach it? So for example, I would always prefer to teach body language and social skills in person, but the next best thing is video. In fact, for some people, body language and social skills is actually easier to learn on video because they can pause the videos, rewatch things, and my awkward people, you don't like coming to live workshops.
That's what I thought.
So yeah. So that was a perfect medium for my audience. So I want you to think about, what are you an expert in? And just a little thought exercise is, what are you an expert in? What do your friends always come to you to ask about? what is a topic or a skill that you deeply know? Like you feel like you could just talk about it for days, because if you do a course, you'll end up talking about it for days.
Yeah.
And what is something that you feel like you could be an expert in? Like if you were to say like, you know, Michelle Poehler, expert in, you know, what would feel comfortable at the end of that sentence? And the second question, so just dreamstorm that. Like get out your like beautiful like dream journal and just dreamstorm it.
But Vanessa, do you think that the word expert can be a little bit scary for some people? Because what I feel is that some people are really good at doing something and still they don't call themselves experts because that word gives them like they feel uncomfortable. Like and then you have to convince them that they're actually qualified to teach that. Well, that's another topic, probably like imposter syndrome and all of that.
And by the way, I love talking imposter syndrome, but just very briefly to directly address that, right? Like our own self-worth. For example, it took me forever to charge more than $100 for a course, even though you could easily get your worth out of it, because I didn't feel like it was worth that. I didn't feel like I was worth that. It's the same thing in negotiations. So let's start with the basics. So hopefully there is something that you think you're an expert in. If you're like, I don't know if my knitting is expert. Okay, that's okay. The next question I would ask is, are you a knowledgeable auntie or uncle? In other words, so it doesn't have to be an expert, but if you had a bunch of little nieces and nephews or a bunch of your friends' kids or your friends, would they come to you or think of you as the knowledgeable auntie and uncle in this topic? Like, I'm not even joking. There should be a great online course on making paella. Like someone's really good at that. It's not me, but I love making paella and I've burned it every time, right? Like, so, and by the way, that would be a great online course. Like, so I want you to think about everything, like not just what you do professionally.
How I think, if you know more than a group of people, then you can already teach that. Because if there's a group of people that want to learn from you because you know more than them, then that's enough to teach something. That's what I remember when Adam wanted to start his online course and he's like, but I'm not the expert in finance. I'm like, you know way more than many people. So that is enough.
You just said something amazing. Because I am not the most charismatic person in the world, not by a long shot, right? Like they're more charismatic than me, but I teach charisma a very specific way. I teach it like an awkward person learns it. And so my courses on body language and charisma and social skills are for high achieving professionals who feel stuck and burnt out and like they don't belong. That is different than a course from an extrovert who is killing it, who is a natural leader, who is the life of the party. They're going to teach a different course for a different group of people. And so you actually being Adam is a perfect example. Adam being a self-taught finance guru, whether he wants to call himself an expert, where he learned without a finance degree, without an accounting degree, how to work a really good life budget, that is super valuable to people like him. And so no, he's not going to teach an accounting course. He's not going to teach a finance course to wannabe insurance agents. He's going to teach a finance course to people like him who want to be where he is. Yeah. So it's the same thing for you. And I want you to think of all areas of your life, not just professional, but also personal. And the second question you want to ask yourself is this best on video? And that's a really important question, because some people are better off doing in-person workshops. You have to wait. And that way you can use this time to brainstorm and write curriculum for your in-person workshop at the local library or the local school. That's great. If you think that it's right for video, meaning you are presenting and pushing out content and people are asking questions asynchronously, that is a video course. So I mentioned earlier that online courses is a really big word. I actually like to think of it in 3 different ways. And this isn't, I don't know if this is like industry knowledge, it's just how I think of it. So I think of an online course is you producing videos for people to watch on their own time at their own pace. That's a very basic online course. You can offer them for free or for pay. Then you have an online program. An online program is when you push out video content and people watch it asynchronously on their own time, but there's an interactive portion of the program. That could be comments. That could be homework assignments. That could be live office hours. That could be a Q&A board. That could be a Facebook group. That's an online program. So my Udemy courses are online courses, strictly online courses. I push content out. People watch it when they want to. My People School courses, so the courses I have on my website, are only online programs, meaning I give out content, but then I have lots of interactive components because that increases engagement, it increases learning, and increases retention. You can also charge more for it because you're putting more into the course. The last option is what I call an online mastermind. So mastermind is a word that's thrown around a lot. What I mean is you are teaching live and people are learning live, and it happens at the same time.
That's what I did with my latest course, right? The Selling Unapologetically. I didn't know that was called a mastermind. I love it. Now I have a term.
In Vanessa Van Edwards' world, that's called an online
mastermind.
Okay. Because those are very different, right? They're different pricing, different selling, different landing pages, and different platforms. And we can talk about software if you want. What do you think would be most helpful? I can also take a look at the comments. What's most helpful for us to go next?
Okay, so there are so many questions that I have. For example, one of the questions is, how do you know how much to charge an online course? There are so many, and you already sort of talked about it, like the pro courses are cheaper, and then so you already, but do you have any advice on that? And also how, and in the same aspect of pricing, how do you get over the fear of charging over $100 or $200? I'm still at that level where I have to tell you, like, the most I've charged for a course is $247. That for me was like, oh my God, this is so much. Who would pay that? And we sold over 150 or 200 courses for that one, but I still have terrible fear of going above that.
Yeah. Okay. First, you're not alone. And I saw a bunch of people in the comments say software. So that's a really easy question, software. So I'll do that one first. So when you're thinking about an online course, what's even more important than the gear. So you have gear with an online course, like your camera, your light, your mics, and then you have software. Those are two different things. So one is filming the course, and then there's editing the course, and then there's hosting the course. Hosting is where the course lives, how your students take it. So if you want to do no software that you have to host, you want to use a platform. So a course platform, they have the entire what's called an LMS, Learning Management System, LMS. So your course lives.
It got cut off a little bit. Can you repeat that?
Yes, of course. So when you log into a company like Udemy, they host the software, and it's called an LMS, a learning management software. Wherever your online course lives, it's going to be on some kind of a learning management software. Udemy has one for you. You literally log in, it's free. You upload your videos, you hit publish, it's out. Super easy. You don't even have to really use software. You're just using their platform. If you want to host your own courses, and we can talk about the difference between using a platform and using your own course, I highly, highly recommend the one I use. It's called Thinkific. By the way, they don't sponsor me. I just love them.
But you're on the website.
That's because I love them.
That's the one I use too because of you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on the banner. So a little background. They don't sponsor me. I pay for them. Like, I'm a legit student. You also can use Teachable. I've heard good things about that. Thinkific is very affordable, I think, for what it is. You log in, you set up your own place to host a course. Back in the day when I first joined them, I think in 2013, the CEO, Greg, would email me, do I need anything? So like, they're just a wonderful, wonderful company. So that's what I use for my software. It's very affordable. I think that it goes up by how many students you use. So you have platforms, and then you have your own software. I love Thinkific. I've heard very good things about Teachable. Those are the two that I probably like the most. Everything else I won't mention by name. I haven't heard the best things about. Like, for example, another one that people use is Kajabi. Kajabi is good if you're technical. I am not technical, and so it takes some jiggering. The thing that you have to think about for an LMS is it reliable? So can people easily log into it? Can you easily figure it out? And then also payment. So how do you take payment? So I know with like Kajabi or other course plugins, you sometimes have to jigger the payment. I don't want to have to do any of that. So think if it gets like it's all in the same place. I think Teachable is the same way. So that's the software question. The other question you had was a really good one, and it was pricing.
Wait,
Right?
I also have another one. You tell me
Okay.
if this goes first.
Okay.
How to attract people, and I read in the comments that they were asking that because if you don't have an audience, how can you start and get people to watch your course?
Oh, that's a whole nother Instagram live. That's a big one. So attracting an audience, the way that I think is the most reliable to do it is social, Google search to an email list, and then selling to an email list. That is the most reliable way to sell. Is that what you mean?
But what about the platforms like Udemy that already have an audience?
Okay, so this is why I actually recommend starting on a platform. If you can start on a platform, if you have no audience, I really recommend starting on Udemy. The reason for this is because you could have no following on Udemy at all, but if you're ranking in their search, you will get buyers. And this is exactly what happened to me. When I first started on Udemy, no one knew me. No one at all knew me. But there were very few courses in the lifestyle category, and there were no courses on body language or lie detection or any of those topics. And so I figured, well, like, let's see what happens. So I made sure that I thought very carefully about keywords. And keywords, I literally could talk for 3 days about keywords. I probably spend 20% of my day thinking about keywords. I'm not even joking.
Every day?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the key to my business. It's the key to every dollar I've ever made, truly, truly. And the reason for that is because we never, ever, ever paid for traffic. We never paid for ads. We never paid for traffic. The first time we ran our ad campaign was last May, like literally less than a year ago. That is because every single piece of content I put out, including and especially courses, I think, what would someone search for to get to this course? For example, people do not search conversation tricks. So I had a course originally that was called Conversation Tricks and Tips, but no one goes into Google and searches conversation tricks. No one goes into YouTube and search that. What do they search? How to talk to anyone, how to never run out of things to say, conversation starters. And so I was getting no traffic on that course because no one was searching for it. So what I would think is, think of your ideal student, and we could talk about that a lot too. Your ideal person, the person you're dying to reach, what would they type into Google to get to your course? Would it be a question? Would it be strategies? Would it be a promise? That is what you should title your course, and that is how you attract students. Because Udemy will take the traffic that's coming from Google. Udemy takes out ads. So Udemy is a great company. What they do is they take out the ads for you. So if they see a course go up on their platform that's on cake decorating, okay, and there actually is a cake decorating course on Udemy, it's fabulous. But you never would have considered that, but cake decorating is fun and interesting, and why not? So there's a cake decorating class. And so Udemy puts their own money behind ads in Google and sends you the traffic. So only if you think about search. So she, I think, titled the course, How to Decorate a Birthday Cake, How to Decorate a Wedding Cake, How to Decorate a Baby Shower Cake, How to Decorate a... Every single lesson is titled something that you would search in Google. And so therefore, it's super easy for A, people to find her organically, and then B, Udemy is able to buy ads for her. Is that too complicated, or does that make sense?
No, that's
okay.
Sounds very simple, and definitely I'm sure a lot of people here are already coming up with their lines, like one-liners, how to, and so great.
Perfect. Okay, so that's the first thing about attracting customers. I wouldn't even worry about paid. I wouldn't even worry about social media just yet. All you have to worry about is titling your course something that people will search. And in the description, that should be like exactly what someone would say out loud to Google. Your keywords, your tags, you actually tag the course the same. So that is how you attract customers very cheaply and very easily. Want to talk about pricing? Should we talk about pricing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, if you have more questions, yeah. If you have more questions, keep writing them and we'll get back after we're done with this question.
And by the way, if what I'm talking about, you're like, I wish I had more about this. I'm thinking about creating an online course about online courses just because that's ridiculous. So if anyone wants that, let me know. I'm like on the fence if I should do it or not. So anyway, let me know if you'd want that. Okay, yeah. So pricing. So you have to think about pricing like sandboxes. And what I mean by this is there are certain people who will never spend more than $20 on online learning. They just never will. So that's the $0 to $20 sandbox. There are people who only play in that sandbox. A lot of them are on Udemy. So I will tell you that Udemy has priced themselves, has a difficult pricing problem where they've offered so many coupons to people that people just do not want to spend more than $19.99 on a course. And that is one of the reasons why I had to do my courses in other places as well as Udemy. So if you want to play in that sandbox, that's a great sandbox to be because you don't have to sell very hard, right? So if you're testing something out, you're testing out an idea, you're not sure, you've never taught it before, you really don't feel like an expert, but you do feel like a knowledgeable auntie or uncle, 0 to 20 might not be a bad place to start simply because it allows you to test. You only want to do 0 to 20 if your course is under 2 hours. So the amount of video content is under 2 hours. If it goes over that, you'll have really hard time with retention. People who spend $19 on a course don't want to spend more than 2 hours watching video. They just don't. Also, the pricing doesn't make sense for the time, if you think about it that way. Yeah. So 0 to 20, under 2 hours, you're a very beginner. Or, and I don't want to get too complicated. If this is too complicated, we can just skip it. Or your course is a lead magnet. Oh, okay. So a lead magnet is really important. A lead magnet is how you attract people to your offering. So let's say that you're a coach and your offering is actually private coaching sessions or group coaching sessions. That's what pays the bills. That's what makes your heart sing. It's what you love. But you've heard all this stuff about online courses and you're like, maybe I should do that. You would be better served to do it in the $20 sandbox because your goal is to get people, leads as a magnet, to know you, to know your frameworks, and then to hopefully eventually go into your coaching program. So I have free courses on Udemy, free, just open to anyone as lead magnets. All I want to do there is teach people what I do and then hopefully get them interested in my other material, in Captivate, in my other courses. So if you're using a course as a lead magnet for something else, 0 to 20. And 0 is an option, by the way. Free is an option. So that's the first bucket. The next bucket is 20 to 99. So typically those people, if you're going to pay $49 for a course, you're probably going to pay $99 for a course. If you're going to pay $39, you're probably going to pay $79. It's kind of all the same bucket. So when you're in there, 39 and 49 are almost the same amount of money, psychologically speaking. When I price courses differently, like in that bucket, there is really no difference. People, it all sounds the same to them. So that's the next bucket. That's when you have a course that maybe has a PDF with it or a downloadable workbook. Maybe it's 2 to 4 hours, like somewhere in there, like definitely longer than a feature film. People often think about, like, oh, would I spend $12 on a movie? Yeah. Okay, so that's a 2-hour course. Would I spend $49 on a movie? No. And so it should be over the length of a movie up there. So like 3 to 8 hours. 8 hours is a long time, so it doesn't have to be that high, but 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there with a PDF or a workbook. Over 100 is when you start talking about shifting gears into online programs. Meaning, are you going to have a message board? Are you going to answer questions? Are you going to have a Facebook group? Are you going to take supports? Are you going to have office hours? Over 100 is when people start to ask those questions. And you want to start thinking about offering that. So it's very hard to get away with selling a 100 to 500 in there. It's really hard to sell a course. A little bit of back and forth, a little bit of interaction. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's yes. those are, that's the next bucket. And that usually is online program realm. After 500, that's one big bucket, basically all the way up till 3,000. 500 all the way up to 3,000 is one bucket. It's expensive and it definitely involves some kind of interaction. Over 3,000, you're talking about a mastermind. That was a very fast way to think those buckets. Yeah.
Wow. So much good information. I was just talking the other day with an expert also on online courses, just like you are, but I don't think she's a speaker or she talks about a certain topic. She just talks about how to create online courses. Like that's her topic. And when I described to her what I was charging for my, what you call mastermind, which was a 6 weeks course, and for $249, she wanted to kill me. She was like, no, Michelle.
Yeah, because it was the wrong bucket, right? So you were charging the middle bucket, which should have been a little bit of interaction. Here's the thing. The most premium thing you can offer in the world is your time, period. And so if you're going to do an online course and it's asynchronous, you film a video and put it out, but it's not your time with people, you can charge less. But the moment you begin to put in your time, answering questions, office hours, and believe me, they add up. We have an entire team to manage our student community. Like that's how much support we get from just our students. Once you start to give up your time, you have to start charging more because then basically people are getting your coaching for free.
Right. And so you would say that most of your income comes from online courses, right? That's like the core of your business.
So I would say the majority of it is online courses. Maybe 50% of my income is courses. Maybe 20% of my income is speaking. Maybe 20% of my income is books and ads. And the rest is like affiliate revenue and little baby things that happen here and there.
Yeah. That is amazing. Really, you opened our eyes to what courses are all about when we had that conversation a year ago. And it actually was so interesting because that is what gave us the confidence that we don't need to be on stage all the time and we can do something else. And that's why I launched the course last year and it went really, really great. So I can't wait to launch another course. But what do you think about right now, the moment that we're living? I know times are really hard. Everything changed from, to night to morning, like so fast. And I think that we're all wondering that because now people have to work from home. Many people lost their job and now we are here encouraging them to create an online course. But what do you think about what's happening now?
Okay, so such a good question. And I'm thinking about this a lot in creating my next online course, right? Like I'm in it with all of you right now thinking what is the next in the lineup. So here's what I think. One, it is hard to sell something in a recession, but it is possible. So you have to keep in mind that people are losing their jobs. So you either have to make your course helping them get better jobs or some kind of a career investment or fudutainment, like total entertainment, total fun that people are like, I need a break, right? So you have to think about if you want to put this out in the next 6 months, okay, I have to have a course that's recession proof, that speaks to very high unemployment rates. And there's a lot of topics that way, right? There's a lot of topics that can go that way. So one course that we're probably going to put out in the next 3 to 6 months is a presentation skills course. Mm-hmm. Both virtual speaking and public speaking, presenting online, presenting in courses, presenting on video, just because I know that that's a evergreen skill that will never go away. And I can price it a little bit lower than a $1,500 course. So our flagship course, which is the majority of our income, which is People School, is everything I've ever learned about online courses in one course. Literally up into that course, I had done every different kind of course, experimenting to get to People School. I launched People School with every piece of knowledge that I had gathered, and it worked. I took down all of my courses on my website. That's when I went from 40 courses down to 2 on my website. Wow. Because it sells like crazy. Like it works. Like it works. It actually people benefit from it. They hit their goals. That was an incredible experience. So using that and knowing that that is a great social skills course, I was like, what's missing there is a cheaper course, which is in the probably $200 to $400 range. That's in that other bucket, right? So different bucket. I don't want to compete against myself. So you have to also be careful not to create too many courses in the same bucket that people would add on to their skills. So I think that's when you're thinking about your kind of the timing, you want to be as recession proof as possible. The second thing is, and this is the good news, because we're all social distancing, you have people who have never learned online before. So they're for the first time logging in and saying, you know, I think I'm going to take an online course. That means we're getting brand new people into the environment who are totally open. They're open to new gurus, new experts, right? So let's say that you want to create a course on online courses. Okay, perfect example, right? This is something that I'm thinking of. Is that something I want to do? And I say to myself, well, there are so many other experts who are teaching online courses on online courses. Why should I do it? And then, and this is exactly what I'm telling you, I know that thousands of people are getting online for the first time and saying, I would be interested in online courses. They don't know anyone in the industry. They've not seen that there's all these other courses out there. And so we have this unique opportunity to get people who are totally fresh and totally open-minded and want to learn from new people. They don't know any experts exist. And so I would say it's an incredible opportunity right now to create online courses. The perfect time.
Right. Oh, that's so good to know. That's awesome. Everybody here is excited. Yes, no, for sure. And we have the time, you know, we can learn from you how to do it. Please do your course so we can learn. Some people here are asking, what is People School? So can you repeat it? Can you explain it a little bit?
Yeah. So before, in my as I was doing online courses, I was doing a lot of online courses, just me teaching, and then everyone kind of learned on their own. What I realized is what was really important is to have a little bit of live teaching, current teaching, as well as very goal-oriented learning. Meaning you log into the course with a goal in mind, a very specific goal in mind, and you actually do homework and use the goal all the way through. So People School, I encourage people to have one career goal: get a 30% raise, get a new job, raise their rates, meet my soulmate, get 5 new friends. I want measurable, like very specific. And then I take them through 12 lessons. They're all pre-filmed lessons that they watch. And I actually did this course, and this is something that I learned by doing a lot of online courses, that people don't necessarily want to watch live. There's too much headache. There's what technology is broken, but they like to watch something that was filmed live with an audience. So for People School, it's actually me with a hand-picked 20-person audience, beautifully cut, beautifully edited. So you get all the benefit of being live without any of the headache. And then I filmed the Q&A sessions so that people could watch the Q&A sessions edited, so they didn't take as long. Because the biggest complaint we got when we taught live courses was like, oh, the Q&A sessions take forever. Like, that's what everyone always said. So I was like, let's do the best Q&A session where we like trim it down to only the best questions and like chop it. And people loved it. And then what comes with People School, because it's a $1,500 product, so it's a very expensive course. It's very long, HD videos. It's like watching a movie every day. Is I teach live content every month on top of the modules. So every month for an hour, I do the latest science. I do exercises. I do challenges. We watch body language videos on YouTube. We analyze the videos. And so I'm able to give that experience because we have really high quality videos and then live. So if you're thinking about how to get creative with a higher end course, even just looking at the landing page for People School, you'll get an idea of how I sell different courses. So if you look at how I sell Udemy courses versus how I sell People School, you'll see that I sell them differently. And I could talk about landing pages and sales funnels all day if you want, but I don't think people want to hear that.
No, we do. The things that we do want to hear, but we want to pay you for that also. So,
by the way, Joyce asked what software I use for editing. I use iMovie for editing. Yeah,
that's
great.
Easy, and it comes to your Mac. So there you go. That's how I started doing my 100 Days Without Fear. I did almost all 100-day project videos using iMovie, and then I learned how to do
they're amazing
Adobe programs. But yeah, it is so easy, it's so doable. You guys, you can literally start tonight. At least find a title and try to discover your skill, right? That's amazing.
By the way, the comments are like so kind. People are being so nice. Any way that I can help, I feel like this is empowering content right now. We need to be activating our knowledge. You have knowledge. You have something that you know that you can share with the world. And all you have to do is figure out the best format for it. Even if that's starting with a couple of free videos, just start there. Just start.
And also,
just start.
guys, if you fail, that's okay. If you fail with your first course, I failed with my first course too. I mean, I didn't know much about courses, but it was so necessary that I failed. So I continue learning. So it is okay if you fail with your first one. Don't feel bad or anything.
So I failed with my 5th course. So for whatever, I don't know why, but like my 5th course, it was body language for sales. Just failed. Like people just didn't buy it. It just like was not the right thing. Why? I think because no one searches body language for sales. So no one's looking for it, so they didn't buy it. So still to this day, I love that little course. I really like that little course.
Change the name.
I know. What do salespeople like? What do they search for body language? Like maybe confidence in sales, but then I have to do the verbal component. So anyway, every failed course, you learn something. Like I had to create 15 courses. I think it was actually 17 courses from scratch to get to People School. And now People School pays the bills. It's my pride and joy. It's changing people's lives. I had to do all 17 of those courses to get to People School. I had to.
You guys, that is amazing what she's doing, right? She's selling a course for over $1,000. You're selling tons of it.
We have thousands of students now. Yeah.
Thousands of students. Okay. Yeah. So you guys, yes, it's not going to be easy, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it. So definitely keep that in mind. Start working on it. I mean, why not? And yes, don't think it's going to be easy. It's not. It takes so many
suggestions. The suggestions are amazing. Salespeople are extroverts. Closing the sale. Yes, it's still available. Someone asked. I think it's actually still on Udemy right now. Which is like amazing. So yes, I love all these suggestions. Thank you.
Yes, go to People School. So what's the website?
Yes. So everything is at scienceofpeople.com, and you'll see People Schools right up on the tab. That's our big flagship course. And then I have courses on Creative Live. So Creative Live is another learning platform. They film the course for you. So if you want to see a totally different experience, Creative Live is, I have 4 courses on there. Udemy is, again, a totally different one, which much lower priced courses. And then I also have courses on LinkedIn Learning. And again, that is a totally different kind of course experience, a different course platform. And I have 3 on there.
Oh my God. So much knowledge in your head, Vanessa. I need to hug your head.
I know you're just do it. It's fine.
Yes. But you know what I heard the other day, and it really resonated, that first, before creating the course you want to do, first you have to be your ideal client. So first you have to be willing to invest in these courses. No, I don't know if you agree with that, but to me that resonated, and that made me change my mindset, because I never spent a lot of money on courses. I never did. And I wanted to create a course that is has a high value, right? High ticket course. And then I heard that, and I'm like, maybe I should have the experience of the buyer and go through one of these courses, so then I can design my own. And actually, after hearing that, I started spending more and investing more in my education.
I will say that I've taken a lot of online courses, and every online course I've taken, I've learned so much from them. How to teach on video. So someone very briefly mentioned in the comments, thank you for sharing, that it's hard to be outgoing on camera. So how to teach online is a totally different topic. Like, we're just talking about the mechanics of it, but being engaging in a video, being able to keep students' retention and attention, and not getting refunds. So the other thing is, you get the sale, you got to keep the sale, which means people log in and they have to make sure that they're actually going to stick with you. So watching online courses is actually a great way to see different teaching styles. I have a very specific kind of teaching style that I've honed over many years to really try to hit my ideal person. And so you have to figure out what your teaching style is, and the best way to do that is exactly what Michelle mentioned, which is watching a couple different versions. Like, I would think of a topic that isn't your topic, because if you watch a course on your topic, you'll get intimidated and you'll think, oh, it's already been done. So don't watch on your topic. Pick a different topic that you'll still benefit from, okay? So it could be finance, it could be social skills, it could be speaking, whatever, a topic you'll benefit, or maybe coding. Watch a free version, get a free course. Watch a $20 version. if you can, do 20 to 99 and then do one expensive one. You don't have to do two expensive ones. Just do one expensive one and see the difference. Like if you were to take my Udemy course versus my Creative Live course versus People School, you would see exactly which one you think is best for you. And you can do that in any kind of vertical. So that's a really interesting experience if you want to see like what bucket you want to play in.
That's so interesting. And I can't keep going on and on because I still have more questions. But Instagram is going to cut us like out of the blue, like it happened the first time I did this. And I was like, what happened? Why did my life ended? And I was talking to Dave. Dave is here. And actually, Dave, he's the one that told me, and he actually wrote the line as he told me the other day, and it was become the client or customer you wish you attract. That's what he told me. That was so helpful.
I would just, you either are a client or you were the client. So you might be at the place now where you wouldn't buy your course. That's okay. As long as at one point you were, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, Vanessa, thank you again so much. Here's her book. If you want to get it, it's really, really amazing. And I love this. I have to tell you, this is one of my favorite covers for books. When I was researching covers, I had this in mind a lot. I don't know if it's the same. But
we're sisters. We're sisters.
They look good together.
They look great together. Where's my copy?
I know. I'll send it right now, actually. I promise.
Okay. I'm like dying to read it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Michelle, for having me. I'm happy to share this knowledge. If people want more of it, I can try to put out more of it any way, shape, or form I can. Adam. Hi, Adam.
He's been really helpful.
Actually, he's helping me learn from my own notes. It's really helpful.
You know what sucks? Instagram doesn't save the comments. So you can rewatch this for 24 hours without only 10% of the comments. Sucks. Yeah, Instagram, you need to seriously.
Come on.
Your game. Oh, okay. So Adam wants to say hi.
Hi, Adam. Air hug.
Oh my God. Okay, we're going to get cut off. Bye, Vanessa.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been amazing. So please go follow Vanessa. Her link is right here in the corner. You click there where it says my name, and then it will pop up in the little window, and you just go follow her. And that's it, guys. See you all tomorrow night for John Acuff. That's going to be a good one. Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And now.